Losing yourself in motherhood and parenthood. Why it happens and how to come back. A parenting guide from Creative Minds Montessori. Losing yourself in the baby and toddler years is normal, not a failure. It's a real developmental transition researchers call matrescence, on the scale of adolescence, and it's harder now because we parent with less village and more comparison. You get yourself back not by resurrecting the old you but by reclaiming one small, real piece of self at a time, which a shared load and good childcare make possible. And if the lost self tips into hopelessness or detachment, that's a reason to call your doctor, not to push harder. There's a name for this, and the name itself helps. Matrescence, coined by anthropologist Dana Raphael in 1975, describes the transition into parenthood as a whole-person reorganization on the scale of adolescence, physical, emotional, psychological, relational, all at once. Framing it as a developmental phase rather than a personal failure is itself part of the treatment. And it's progressive, not a single event, which is exactly why it sneaks up on you, 100 small deprioritizations of self, stacked over months. The mechanism isn't a personality change, it's prioritization. Time, energy, and attention are finite and now shared, and parents lose touch with themselves because they're pouring everything into the child, while sleep deprivation erodes the stability you'd need to notice it happening. The load-bearing emotion is guilt. Many of us were taught to measure love by how much we give, so wanting time for yourself gets misread as loving your family less. Here's the reframe worth keeping. The guilt is short-term, the regret from sacrificing every scrap of your time and mental space is long-term. Here's the anthropology that changes the self-blame. Parents were never meant to do this alone. In the cooperative societies humans evolved in, infants were passed among many caregivers, up to 14 different alloparents a day in some studies. The isolated nuclear family is historically recent. The term itself only appeared in the 1920s. And it stripped away the extended hands that once shared the load. In one figure, 38% of mothers spent more than 8 hours a day alone with their infant. The lost self isn't your weakness, it's arithmetic. The phone then adds a comparison factory. In a survey of 1,000 mothers, 72% compared themselves to other moms online, and nearly 60% of the guilt feelers traced it to what they saw from momfluencers. But the research has a useful nuance. It's not the phone use itself that does the harm, it's the negative self-judgment about it. For isolated parents, the same device delivers the village digitally, peer groups, parent communities, adult conversation at nap time. The tool amplifies whichever direction you point it. 3 common moves, honestly. The first, push through, it's only a season. Partly true and genuinely adaptive. The newborn phase does demand near zero personal time, and naming it a season reduces panic. The catch is that season quietly becomes a permanent setting. The child's needs must come first at times, but not forever. Parents who sacrifice all their time and mental space report long-term regret, and pushing through can mask a slide into burnout or postpartum depression. The second move, carve out me time. It works when it's real, a protected hobby, a booked sitter, but it requires money or a partner who shares the load. It triggers the very guilt that cancels the benefit, and the commodified version, a rushed bubble bath, doesn't touch the structural problem. The third, chase the old self. Reclaiming former hobbies genuinely helps, but chasing the exact pre-baby identity can deepen the grief, because parenthood genuinely changed you. The expert's honest answer is a little of both. So the healthier target is an integrated new self, not the old one resurrected. Hold these as tendencies, not rules. The measurable part is the leisure gap. American fathers average about 3 more hours of leisure per week than mothers. But the deeper gap is in quality. Mothers' free time is more often interrupted, fragmented, and multitasked, the hour off that includes folding laundry and monitoring the monitor. Which is why she got an hour and he got an hour are not the same hour. The identity wound lands in different places. For many mothers it's internal, matrescence, the changed body, the guilt attached to wanting. For many fathers, especially stay-at-home dads, it's external and social, a society that values men by their work asks, what do you even do all day? For single parents, there's no second adult at all, and the fix has to come from outside the house. The teamwork fix everywhere: name the invisible load out loud, make relief symmetrical and truly hands-off. You leave the house, ask directly rather than waiting to be offered, and normalize solo time for both parents is co-parenting, not abandonment. The principle across all three methods: you don't get yourself back by taking time from your child. You get it back by building a household that needs slightly less of you, and then actually using the slack. The first method: foster your child's independence, help me to do it myself. The Montessori aim has always been the capable child, and there's a domestic secret hidden inside it. Independence isn't just good for the child, it literally hands time back to the adult. A child who can reach their own coat, pour their own water, and occupy themselves with real work needs less minute-to-minute servicing, and every skill they own is a task you no longer perform. The child wants competence, me do it, exactly as much as you want 10 uninterrupted minutes. For once the incentives align perfectly. Build it by bands. For a toddler, low hooks and shelves so they reach their own coat and cup, letting them dress themselves, simple food work like slicing a banana with a child-safe knife. For a preschooler, clearing their own dishes, packing their own bag, a cozy self-serve book corner they can disappear into. Start with one task, offer 2 choices rather than the whole closet, and allow enough time that it's calm. The saboteur is swooping in to do it faster, which reclaims 2 minutes now at the cost of the skill, and your future free hour. The second method: become the prepared adult, pause and observe instead of react. Montessori wrote that the adult must first do important work within themselves, and for a depleted parent this is unexpectedly selfish in the best way. Less friction means less depletion, which means more of you left at the end of the day. Build a beat of delay before responding, let the child wrestle the small problem even though it's slower, prepare the environment in advance so problems don't require you, and, the radical part, treat your own rest and regulation as part of your child's environment, not a luxury stolen from it. A frayed adult is the child's weather. The third method: protect one real, boundaried piece of self, and let your child see it. Children benefit from seeing a parent who is a whole person, a parent with a life model's self-worth in a way no lecture can. So pick one identity thread, the guitar, a class, a run, one friendship, and protect it with a concrete boundary and a scheduled handoff, a partner, a grandparent, or the childcare mornings you're already paying for. Make it fit the season, 20 minutes, not a whole Saturday. And manage the self-talk that guards the boundary: whatever I did today was enough, because the guilt, not the calendar, is usually what breaks it. Introduce it to your child by not hiding it. Use the handoffs that already exist: drop-off mornings, nap time, rather than adding new separations. Keep goodbyes short and predictable, and let your child see the thing you love, bring them to the edge of it, so your interest reads as normal life, not as you disappearing. The saboteur is all or nothing thinking, skipping the 20-minute version while waiting for a free weekend that never comes. Small, real, and sustainable beats Instagram perfect every time. For this particular struggle, a good program isn't just a service, it's the closest thing modern life offers to the village. It literally gives time back. Even part-time care measurably helps parents manage stress and avoid emotional exhaustion. Less obviously, it breaks the isolation. Parenting a young child is one of the loneliest phases of adult life, and the pickup line, the birthday parties, and the parent community around a preschool quietly chip away at it. Parents with children in preschool report higher satisfaction, confidence, and social support. But the handoff only restores you if you can actually switch off, and that's where quality shows. A weak center with thin communication leaves you carrying the full mental load through your freed hours. So run the triangle deliberately, tell the center what you're working on at home. We're doing self-dressing, please let her try. The center gives you real daily observation, specific enough that you can genuinely rest. And the child hears simple, honest transitions: after snack, mama comes back. Fair questions for any program: how will I hear about my child's day? Who is my child's consistent caregiver? and is there a parent community? This is not medical advice, and what follows is common and very treatable. The baby blues, mood swings and tearfulness, touch 50 to 80% of people who give birth and usually resolve within about 2 weeks. Postpartum depression is different. It affects about 1 in 8 new parents, lasts beyond 2 weeks, and disrupts daily functioning and bonding, deep sadness, hopelessness, irritability, guilt that blocks accepting help. Postpartum anxiety is roughly as common. And parental burnout is its own pattern, intense exhaustion in the parenting role, plus emotional detachment from your children, plus doubting your competence. The line to hold on to, "I miss my old life," is a phase that responds to time, support, and reclaiming small pieces of self. Hopelessness, numbness toward your child, or 2+ weeks of worsening, that's a call to your doctor, not a harder push. Partners get depressed too. Perinatal depression follows fathers and adoptive parents as well. If you ever have thoughts of harming yourself or your baby, treat it as an emergency. Call or text 988 now. The National Maternal Mental Health Hotline is 1-833-943-5746, and Postpartum Support International is 1-800-944-4773. There's no clean before and after to restore. Even the experts, asked whether we lose ourselves or are simply changed, answer a little of both, so the work isn't restoration, it's getting to know an evolving self. What the research found moving the needle wasn't a productivity hack, it was naming the transition, practicing self-compassion, and having community. So here's the permission slip, stated plainly: the guilt is the distortion, not the desire. Wanting time for yourself does not mean loving your family less. A parent who is a whole person is a gift to a child, not a theft from one. Reclaim one small piece now. For the full guide and more parenting resources, visit creativemindsmontessori.com/parenting.